Hello everyone, this is Nikki from Polkadoodles. Today I want to share with you how to actually print and resize your printable digistamps the easiest way possible. It's just so easy. It takes no time whatsoever. So if you're maybe a beginner, or you've looked at digital stamps and printables but you just don't know where to start and it scares you, and you kind of think, I'm not very good on my computer, I really don't know where to even start. I've had a lady emailing me over the last couple of days and she kind of gave up, and um, this video is kind of for her in a way. You know who you are, hopefully. I'm going to send you this link. Um, but For anyone, because it doesn't matter how much experience you have, we all want to know the quick and easy way of doing everything. And let's face it, digital printables are just such a great way to craft. I strongly believe, and always have believed, that it's kind of the future of how we'll craft. We're always going to love stamps and stencils and papers and all of that. But as we all get more and more computer savvy and used to just having computers every day in our lives, then more and more of us are going to do this. So anyway, if you're a beginner or you've always wondered how to resize and it scares you a little bit, this is for you. So let's get on. So I've got here, I'm trying to do this as if I was you and I'd actually just downloaded a bundle from the website. So I've got my bundle open here. If you love this bundle, it's called the Dahlia Collection one. It's a digi deal. I'll leave you the link in the video. And there's also another version of this called too as well. So this is what's going to happen. I'm actually on an Apple Mac, but if you're on a Windows computer, it doesn't matter. It's going to be exactly relatable to your computer. Some of the descriptions of the options we're going to choose will be different, but this is how it's going to work. And I used to use a Windows computer, so I know that these options are there, and this is how I used to use it on my Windows computer anyway. So the first thing I'm going to do, you can see here I've got these three amazing images. Now this, on a Windows computer, you can just double click these images, and this is obviously after you've downloaded them. They're in your Windows Explorer or wherever you've saved the files. I need to open them in my preview app on a Mac. But on Windows, just double click and they'll open in your Windows photo viewer or whatever program you use to view your images. Now this one's actually a paper. I don't know why I've opened that. I just wanted to show you how lovely it is. Where am I? Where's my images gone? Let me just get rid of that. Oh, it's there. Okay, so let me just open this one again. Sorry, I just wanted to open some other things up. So, okay. So we've got two images open. So I've got the pre-coloured clip art version for you, which we always give you. Stunning image. This looks like it's watercoloured. And then you've got the black and white one. Okay. So this is where it's just beyond simple. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to use this one, and we're going to actually just print it. So I'm just going to tell it to print, and it opens up automatically into my settings. Okay. Now this is obviously going to look a bit different if you're on a Windows computer, because your setting will, it brings up different options for you. But what I'm about to choose is just a version of what you have in your print settings, because it's all about your printer. So what I need to do here is I'm going to go to layout, okay? And the layout then gives me these options. So I'm printing on A4 because I'm in the UK. You might be in the US, so you'll be on 8.5 by 11 or US letter. And I'm going to do this as if I wanted to make an A5 or a 5 by 7 card. So this is actually going to print as a full sheet A4, which is huge. Now this would be beautiful if I actually just wanted to frame it and hang it on the wall, which I might do because I really, really love this stamp so much. So it's actually only open, what's the second page? So it's automatically opened the black and white and the colour one for me, because it thinks I had both selected. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cancel that, because I only want to, if I go up into my settings, I can, let me see if I've got a different, it's choosing to do both, but anyway, never mind, it doesn't matter. So you can see here, I'm going to just say, in fact, I'm going to click from 1 to 1, because it thinks I have 2 that I want to print. So I'm just going to print the pink one, okay? So I'm just telling it to only print the pink one, because I'm going from page 1 to page 1. If I wanted it to print both, I would click all, or what I can do here, because I'm using a different app, I can do the selected, but I'll click from 1 to 1. So if you go down here, it actually says number of copies per page is 1. So it's saying, yeah, she wants to print this whole thing, and it's printing the entire image for me. And if that was what I wanted, I could print it. If I now wanted to print 2 copies of that, it'll actually resize it for me. And this is why it's so easy to resize your images this way. And you get used to, once you've done this a few times, you get used to the setting and you know what to choose. Because we all tend to pretty much make the same size cards all the time. So, you know, we do 5x7 or A5, A6 or A2. You know, we might do a 6x6 square or a 4x4 square or a slimline card, and you will easily know those settings. And if you don't, just write them down as you do them and keep a note next to your computer so you know for next time. But it's so easy anyway. I'm waffling on. I could have already printed it and be making my card by now. So that's going to print these. If I actually rotate that, so if we go on to landscape, do you know, every time I do this, it kind of changes the setting on me, but it doesn't matter. So let's just go back to portrait. Okay. So half, it normally it like rotates it round for me, but it's not rotating it. Never mind. So half of this A4 page is an A5 card. Now I'm making an A5 card. So this actually, I could just print this out and I would get 2 copies of it. And I've got 2 A5 cards. I can use one as decoupage, because the really cool thing here is these are identical size. So if you love to decoupage or to fussy cut and just put an extra layer in, this is a great way of doing it. And also you're not wasting space, because if you're going to actually use a whole sheet of paper, why not fill it? But maybe it's too big for my A5 card. So I'm going to go back again, and actually I think what I need to do, no, I'm okay, I'm on layout, it's fine. So I need to go back to this setting. So basically on here, it's still telling me I've got 2 here. If I now click 4, look what happens. So now it's going to print 4 on a sheet. Now this is the A5 card, half of this is an A5 card. So going to 4 actually means that I get quite a nice size topper size here. And again, I've got 4 layers there if I want a decoupage, or I can make 4 cards at once, which really speeds up your crafting. Now you can see here, it's going to actually, don't think I can make this bigger, no. There isn't a huge amount of space between these images because it kind of fills everything together. But you can change that by just selecting only one. For some reason it hasn't done it on this, but usually if I'd have just had one image, let me come back. Right, I'm just going to pick one image. Where's my, let me just check that I've got nothing. Cancel. Okay. Let me just check. I'm going to just open that with, I think because I'd open more than one image, it thinks I want to print more than one. Okay, so now I've just got one image. So let's go to 2. We're still doing it. Weird. Last time I did it, it didn't do that, but never mind. Anyway, it's typical. Right, okay. So on Windows, you have all of these settings, but it does look different. You usually get in your printer, you might have like little boxes, and it'll be little boxes side by side, and it'll show you the layout of how it comes out on the page. Um, so just choose the one and just play around with your settings, because you know the settings will change how it resizes and everything. So here we're telling it to scale to fit so that it fits onto the whole page. But if we tell it to fill the entire paper and then we just go to one, you can see here, look, that it'll actually cut off part of the edge because it's filling the whole thing. Now I quite often get emails from people saying it's cutting off my image. Why is my image cut off? There's something wrong with the image, and it's because you've got that selected. If I wanted 4, it actually cuts off even more. So you know there's um, different settings are applicable, and you just need to play around with them. So you know you can go right down. So you could go down to 16 on a page, and look, it cuts it out quite small here. So there's a lot of different things that you can do. Now, if we wanted to, you see this option here, scale. We can actually switch to scale instead. And scale is really cool. So if we go to, you would automatically think when you open up your image that it would be 100%. But actually that's not the case, because the 100% of the image is what it's to do with the resolution of the image basically. So it will, the printer will automatically scale it up to what it thinks is 100%. That's what it thinks it can print to. Now you can see here, if we did that, that would make quite a cool backing paper, because it's going to print all of that on A4. So if we wanted to, if we go down to 50%, we're almost at the true size of what that image is. So if we go down to 40, that's now got the whole image on that. Remember, we're still on that A4 sheet, look. So now you can actually work out roughly what your optimum size is. So if you were doing a 5x7 or an A5 card, that's half of A4. So I want this to be, if I know that this is like 100%, but I want it half of that, then I'm just going to take that down to 20%. And you can see that immediately that's a really nice size. And again, if I went to 2 images, but look what happens. If I'm on 2, that's it. So make sure that you select print entire image, not fill entire paper. So we're going to go to 20, it's gone to 23%. So we can go down to 20% there and get 2, because then they're both going to be exactly the same image. And you can tell that then, you know, we're going to be pretty much the right size for a card. Now, if you were just looking at the layout of this there, and that was just changing the landscape, if I go down a bit more, say we go down to 15%, you know, this is coming out a really nice size now, and you could actually go right down to 10 if you wanted. It's up to you completely, but you can work out what size you actually want. And what I would do is I would actually print this image, and each time print it a different, you know, print it at 50%, 40, 30, 20, and keep it. And keep it in a little journal so that you know what size those images are going to come out at. And actually you probably only need to do that with one image, and next time you go to print you're going to know, refer back to it, and you'll be able to go, okay, to get it to fit an A3 an A6 card, I need to print it at 15%, and that'll apply for every image, or it should do pretty much. So the other thing we can do here, like I said, is the scale to fit thing. So say we went to 4 images. Let's go to fill entire paper, but we're going to scale, and we'll scale to 30%. Actually, go to 40%. And look what happens. So now, if you like those sort of really nice, big and blousy cards that, you know, where the flower is really big, you can actually get that look. So you could actually do this, and this could actually be the back of your card, so it could be your card base virtually. And you could even cut two of these out, you know, cut it down the middle there, and just fold it in half, and you've got the back decorated as well. And then you could decoupage up the other layers. This is actually back to front. If I go into here, I don't think I've got it in here. But, oh, that's the other thing. You can actually put borders round as well, but it'll go all the way around the outside. Okay, I don't want to do that. You can actually tell it what kind of way you want it to print or whatever. So if you were doing 4 different images on a sheet, you can tell it whether to print from left to right, or you know which direction it is on your actual paper that you want to go. Now, if I go back, I'm just trying to find something here. If I go, I'm trying to find my actual printer settings, paper feed. Oh, you know, it's not giving me on my other printer that I've got. See, I can change my paper settings in there. On my other printer I've got at work, it actually gives me different options, some different options to this. So you can actually, you know, play around in your printer settings. What I was going to say was I could actually flip this. In my other printer I can flip it as well, but this printer doesn't give me the setting. It might be because I'm not actually connected to this printer right now. It might be that. So just ignore me, but you know, play around with it at home and see what happens. See what, oh, there, look. I keep missing the setting. Look, flip horizontally. So look, where my card was on the right-hand edge, and I would want it on the left-hand edge, it's flipped it for me automatically. So that's where, I knew there was a setting, I just couldn't see it. Couldn't see it in front of me, stupid woman. So if I go back to this menu, which gives me the most options, now if I wanted to, let me go to there, and I'm going to go to 2. Look, it's blowing that right up, so it's great for an A5, but I want it to go bigger than that. So I'm going to go, let's go 65%, or let's go 80%. Look how nice it looks. So the reason I'm showing you that as well, we've already done the printing by now, you could be printed and made it and everything, but the reason I'm showing you these options is that there are options, and it's the really easy way for you to resize things. Now, the reason I wanted to show you that is because if I just open this card is how I did that. So on this card, I just printed it really big using that scale option, and I then just cut it out. I've got a backing one of the backing papers here, and I actually just cut it out. I cut it out with my silhouette machine, and then I've just trimmed it off down the side, and I've got this big gorgeous card. This is an A5 or a 5x7 card, and this really striking card. And if I'd have wanted to, if I'd had more time, what I really wanted to do was actually decoupage some of these layers, because it's actually really easy to cut out, even by scissors. But this is the kind of thing that you're going to make. So, you know, that look, if you love this big blousy flower look, which is kind of quite on trend at the minute, you can do that. And if I just show you a couple of other cards that I made with this same set. So this is the same Stat Digi, this time just printed at kind of a normal size that was just perfect for my card. Again, printed the paper off look in the background, and I printed that too to a sheet. So my whole backing paper, that really nice paper that I showed you before, got shrunk down to fit an A5, which is just amazing. And then the really great thing where it comes into its own is with the sentiments, because you can easily resize your sentiments. And then I've done the same here with this. Now this is a different, it's the same flower, but it's a different version. It's only got one flower head on it. And this is Dahlia 2, if you like, in that one. But just to show you quickly, because we've kind of done everything I wanted to show you, really. But if I just open these sentiments, where have they gone? There. If I just select those, and then yeah, so I just want to print it again. My setting's slightly different to yours, so I'm going to go 1 to 2, no, 6. How many pages have I got? 6. So I'm going to go from page 5 to image 5 to 6, which is those 2 sentiments. So it knows now we want to print those 2 sentiments. So again, if we go down, obviously we're going to need quite a few of these on a sheet. So let's go landscape, and it's going to print those out for you like that. Now again, there's no gap between the sentiments. That's what it does with the sentiments. So if we go to scale then and select 1, we can then actually print those to the right scale for what we want for our cat. Oh, 1000%, look. Wow. So you can see if half of this is my A5, that's actually quite a nice size. Maybe I need to go to about 18% maybe to make it a little bit bigger. And again, you know, it does the same to the other one as well. So again, a really easy way to resize your sentiments. Right, I think that's kind of like sewn that up. So hopefully, if you've been scared about, you know, doing this, and you know, you've always wondered how you can resize it without having to pay for software. By the way, I've got a really good piece of software for you if you do want it, that's totally free, and it's called Canva. There's a free version that's like a lifetime free, so you don't have to pay for it. It's amazing. It's so easy to use once you get used to it. But you know, if this is what you have been wondering how to do, then hopefully that's resolved it for you. Like I say, you've got slightly different explanations, terms, descriptions on Windows, but all of that is all there in your print settings. So please just play around with it, and it will open up a whole new life for you with your digital crafting. Right, that's it from me for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.